Welcome back to Bulletproof Mindset, Scotland's #1 health, fitness and entertainment podcast. So today we have a special episode for you guys who don't know where to start with your health and fitness journey. Of course, we end up blethering for the first 30 minutes of today's episode, talking about, what were we even talking about?
No idea.
Oh, we were talking about how
talent.
is talent, are you born with talent? Are you someone who is genetically gifted? We're a wee bit debating again, back and forth on that side of things.
We're not sure. Are you born with an amazing gift, or are you
a big dick or a wee dick?
Are you created into an amazing gift?
Yeah. So we then had, the plan was to do this in one take, this whole episode, where we talk through the framework and everything that you can do to be successful with starting with your health and fitness journey. There is a lot to cover, so we're breaking this down into 2 parts. So this is part 1 of the series, where we cover off the nutritional component and the mindset and movement component. And no, it isn't move more and eat less. Actually, it's move less and eat more. So that is after a 30-minute introductory part of today's episode.
So when it comes to starting your health and fitness journey, we have also created an amazing 12-week starting strong program. It has loads of mobility. It has lifting. It also has a Facebook call that you can join with myself or Dale. Myself and Dale. I'm going to...
Come on, man. Spit it out.
Myself and Dale. But also what we're doing in this lovely facility in Airdrie is you can come up on a Saturday if you are close. Obviously, we do not know where everyone's from. But if you're from England, you can also come up for a wee day trip as well.
Come to the
best. Because we have, most of our listeners are actually from England.
I know. I don't know if Airdrie's the nicest part to Scotland to see, but you're more than welcome to come along
but
to that.
But you can come up and see us. And also, this will be released just before November ends. So if you're still listening at this time and you want to join up, use this code StartingStrong30 for a 30% discount. And also, if you go into the description below, there is a free 30, 60 or 90 day workout plan as well.
Yeah, and with that being said, to put it into monetary value, the price of this program is going to be going up to £120 per month or £300 all in for the paid in full. With this discount, it works out at like £70 per week if you apply the 30% discount, and you're getting some face-to-face training or the option of face-to-face training. I'd probably even say you guys who can't make it here, obviously myself and James would still be open to kind of answering any questions that you might have. With that being said, if you are finding us for the first time, we have episodes out every Monday and Thursday at 6 a.m. and we release the guest episode every second Saturday. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can watch our lovely faces over there. So head on over. And last but not least, I feel like a broken record here, but if you haven't already, leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
I'm a good hacker, so I'll find out where you are. See if you're listening and you've not left 5 stars.
But we do appreciate your most valuable asset, which is your time. So, with that being said,
let's get into today's episode.
Are you wearing Vic?
No.
I smell like Vic. You know, like
I know what Vic is, aye. Is that not you?
I thought it was you. I thought it was your knee, maybe. That's what I was like.
No. Does it smell good then?
I wouldn't say good. It's
I like the smell of Vic.
Do you? It's medical.
You mean Vicks or Vic? Like the stuff you put in your chest and you go...
Aye, it helps you breathe.
Aye.
It's like that wintry type smell.
No, nothing different.
Anyway.
Might be my clothes, mate.
They're not dried right.
Oh, probably not.
Single man lifestyle.
Single man lifestyle.
They'll dry in the corner and they'll pile together.
They will.
Do you get conscious about that?
What?
Like the smell of your clothes?
Nah.
I used to always get really conscious.
When I was in school, mate, I was
like, what's that smell? Does that smell good?
Mate, see, when I was in school, I was so para about it.
Aye.
I'd be in PE and I'd go...
That fucks you up, man.
Mate, what?
It does fuck you up, doesn't it?
Mate, I didn't know anyone else went through this.
No, 100%.
I used to be in PE and I used to go, is that me?
Aye.
And then I used to be in my own head.
I'm sure I dogged an afternoon school, the rest of school, because I was that paranoid of how I smelt and I had to go home. I was like, I can't sit in class. This
is mad, right?
It's because you're sitting next to, like, sometimes you get paired up with, like, the good looking girl in high school, and I was like, nah, can't do it. I honestly think it was because of that, because it wouldn't have been because of my mates and that.
Aye, when I was in PE with the lasses, I'd go, that smell of shite. No shite. It wasn't shite. But it was like, Dad, am I stinky? And I'd go, I don't know. You put deodorant on, you go, I still feel like I smell. So this is funny, right? This is a wee bit mad, but this is what used to happen to me when I took gear, like coke, right?
Right.
I used to feel like, see when I used to get right sweaty, like see when you started sweating, I used to like see like that feeling. I'd go, that smell like shit.
Would just random
But
people.
it would never, no, when they say, I would start saying it to my pals, but it would never leave my mind. And see, once I started, I'd convince myself that I'd shat myself the full night, right? And I'd go to the toilet and I'd check and I'd go, right, I've no shat myself, right? It's no me.
But what is that smell?
But I think you just start making it up, man. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Controlling your senses.
And I think that came from like back in the day when I used to be in like PE and I go, like you would be beside all the lassies and you go, am I smelly?
Have I told you this story of how me and Gillian met but didn't really meet? So Gillian knew of me in like 4th or 5th year in high school.
We don't play games.
No. So we went to 2 different schools. She went to St Aidan's, I went to Coatness, so she went to the Catholic school, right?
Oh, did she?
So how this all met was because of the smell thing, right? So this, I think you get to like 3rd or 4th year, you start stealing your dad's aftershave and that. So I stole my dad's like stepdad's ultraviolet or whatever, the one of the wee guy,
that
right?
one?
Aye, that was a class one, right? So I think
Every dad had it, ultraviolet.
every young guy ended up smelling like this. So anyway, I put that on and I used to walk by one of Gillian's pals every morning when I used to walk to school. And then I get known in St Aidan's as this guy that smelt good, and because I smelt good, they thought they all fancied me. And this is like Gillian's group of pals, and it's so funny. Like years later, she was like, "We used to like write your name on the board in school and circle it and all that."
What the fuck?
How weird is that though? Just because I smelt good.
That's mad, isn't it?
There's something to be said about like
I smell good.
The pheromones that like you release. There's like a sexual attraction to
Oh
them.
no, definitely.
I was rife for them, man. Had a wee fan group. And then Gillian bagged me, eh? She'll be like
lucky
the
woman.
popular girl.
Lucky woman, eh? Aye. Just you believe that, mate?
I know, I will.
She tells you that story like somebody else's name on the wall.
See, because I'm sure one of them had said once, like, "Oh, you smell really good," and that was that. It was like,
oh
fucking
man,
hunters it.
They tell you one thing.
Washing my
That's
face
your
in it.
identity.
It was, aye. That's honestly how I started. Usama filmed like a podcast in here for his YouTube channel. So shout out to him. In fact, I'll bring up his YouTube and give him a wee shout out, because he's the stuff and knowledge and stuff that he's providing for his coaching, like trying to get skinny guys jacked is his niche. But he had me on and he was talking to me, he's like, "How did you get into fitness?" And it just brought me back, and it was that one. Oh, Dale's got an 8-pack, and I was like, fucking sit-ups every night. Did you see the picture I threw up the other night? That was 3rd or 4th year in high school.
That's mad, isn't it?
I'm fucking jacked. I was like, tension there, turtleback.
But
mate, I didn't understand bodybuilding or posing back then, because YouTube wasn't as much.
Fuck
I was fucking flexing and finding all this out
you used to
firsthand.
go,
reading muscle magazines and all that.
I actually get embarrassed looking back, man, and I'd say to my dad and that, like, if you're going to get me a t-shirt, get me an extra small.
Do you remember the first time shopping yourself? Like you had free reign to spend your money?
Oh, fuck, mate, no, I don't.
So I do.
Genuinely no idea.
So I do. And it was, remember Top Man used to do like 3 t-shirts for £12. And you had it was V-necks, and one colour of the sleeve was like green, one was red, and one was like blue. I used to cut a bit of name, but again, I would do you. I try on the mediums, like, this isn't tight enough.
And
to the point, it was like,
up there. I look back at pictures, and the t-shirt's like fucking there, and you're like,
wee belly tops and that.
Fuck?
Sam's just tried to FaceTime me. So let's get into this debate. We were just having it beforehand, right?
Yeah.
So we've just thrown up a clip from Richard's podcast. If you haven't listened to Richard's podcast, 125 is a really good podcast, actually. He liked kind of getting into the mind of his upbringing and what kind of makes the man that he is today. And he's also got a lot of knowledge in that to share. But one of the clips we've taken is basically saying that everyone has everyone has the potential to be successful, and you shouldn't be held back because you don't think that you're good enough or talented enough. And the analogy he used, he compared it to people aren't born as a superstar athlete, was what he said.
Aye.
Man, TikTok is ruthless with this.
Yeah.
Just see the guy. I hate this. I fucking hate
I
this.
know, I see
This
it,
is
mate.
the
I
worst
know
part
it
ever.
is.
We should start a podcast, mate. We've been going podcasting for a year. We're
Aye.
not in that category. We're leading the way in Scotland.
I don't even reply to the things because
I do. I just go nice part, mate.
there's not any point wasting your energy on that.
No, there is.
No, there isn't.
More comments, more engagement,
that's
more
true,
likes.
that's
You need to
true.
play the marketing game.
Should say, look at your profile picture, mate. You dog. You dog.
We should do a podcast episode just getting all the trolls.
Mate,
What's been said.
So I seen it, like, we'll go back to this, right?
Yeah,
It's quite funny to talk about TikTok, and there was a lassie put up behind me, and it was like her and a boyfriend. And for some reason, American guys, like American girls are attracted, but he's obviously a tall guy who's got a wee bit of money, who obviously does well for himself. Like,
I don't know. I just think I see this all the time. I'm like, that guy's punching.
Aye. So it's kind of like that, but you could tell he was actually a handsome guy. But just the way they dress is a wee bit different to us.
Right.
They dress different.
Yeah.
And the
USA
top comments like,
USA
what am I
drip.
doing wrong, man? And she commented, you look about 15, that's what's wrong.
Ruthless.
She's got about 10,000 likes and that wee guy's like, I'm never commenting on a TikTok ever again.
Hey, it's the game you need to play.
Aye.
I guess that's the modern day era of building resilience and confidence.
That is.
Either makes or break you.
That wee guy has been destroyed.
I know. So anyway, back to this comment. This clip was basically saying that, and my mate Sam, he tried to FaceTime me, see if he FaceTimes again.
Is he trying to talk to you about that, do you think?
Aye. He's like,
He's
mate,
right on it.
he's so heated. Look, this was all last night, right? I left the conversation. I patched him last night, and he double texted me this morning going, so do I win this argument? I'm like, whoa, right, you're obviously emotionally heated with this sort of stuff.
Aye.
So you said that you believe people are born talented?
There's some people, I know, born talented as in they have a gift for something. Like, and they have a gift for something, whether they actually get into that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, I think
This is where
that's genetic potential, no talent. I think talent is...
That's the same thing, I think. But I don't, by talented, I don't mean that they are going to win.
They just swan through life, yeah. I know you're not...
I mean that they find the thing they're good at so much easier than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye. And this is the point that I'm looking at the comments that's getting brought up, and what I was saying is if Messi was born in Wishy, or Wisha for you, for majority of our listeners that aren't from Scotland.
Wishaw is a place in Scotland that's
just a wee, I wouldn't even say it's deprived, just a wee
town
town outside Glasgow. If Messi was born in that town, I don't think he would be at the status that he is today, but you made a good point. He probably would be very good at football.
Aye.
And this is where a combination of environment, genetic potential, or talent, whatever you want to call it, and just the right environment that's exposed to that individual, they'll have the chances of succeeding at way more than someone like me or you who isn't genetically disposed.
Here's where I will. I do agree, but I do.
This is the whole.
It's not a black and white scenario. It's not like this is it and this is it. He would be more talented at football, but what happens if his mum and dad didn't put him into football? Or
what happens if he went to Bells Hill Academy, right, and was hanging about with the smokers? This is what I mean. Environment matters.
No, big time. I do agree.
Sam, he actually infuriates me, man. Good mate of mine. Love him to bits. I'm going to smash his face in when I next see him. It does my fucking head in.
So I was actually having a conversation with one of my other mates, and I don't really want to get this too much just in case it offends someone, but I was like, I just don't know how people can't, like, some people are just in a spot where they just can't get out it, and I'm not, like, it takes time to change, but some people are genuinely, like, there forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is the difference between why do they not want better? And I just can't understand it. And then I go, everybody is that little bit different. Why is that the case? I don't know. Do you know that way? But some people genuinely are happy. No, they aren't actually happy. They aren't happy.
They convince themselves.
They convince themselves that they're happy and they stay there. And I go, what is the difference between somebody goes, I need to fucking be better and I need to do better, and like they start changing everything, for someone who just does the exact same things for the rest of their life? Do you know what I mean?
I think, again, it's upbringing, environment, the people they surround themselves with. Honestly, like, when you think about it, the people who tend to lift weights regularly for the right reasons
Aye.
have a wee bit more spunk in them to fucking get after it. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean.
Aye.
They have a wee bit more oomph for, and not just lifting weights, but if they're working on their health, then they're going to work on other aspects, because I think you start realising, like, right, okay, I've been able to transform my health.
Aye.
Can I do that in my social life? Can I do that in my career? Can I do that in other aspects? And it bleeds over for sure.
Aye.
So, but this brings back, that was the kind of conversation we had on the last podcast, which was going for first, second and third place can be a dangerous kind of path to go down, because like you said, in the powerlifting world, if your arms are longer, then their deadlift is going to be potentially better than yours, just by genetically being born that way. But that's not going to hold you back from competing. And I think that's the main message about the whole thing. Like, fuck genetics, fuck talent. Like, why let that control and destine you not trying that? Because what happens if you love it?
It's funny.
Who cares about the first, second, third place?
It's funny, like, obviously, that Outliers book is like basically explaining why people get to the stage they're at. But with Outliers, it's talking about people who are at the top.
Yeah.
The top
1%,
right?
Studied.
So I'm reading that and I'm like, I'm already on a different path from the rest of my family. Like, I am, like, I look at the rest, and I'm not saying that, like, and when I say family, I don't even mean close family. All of my family go the same route. Do you know what I mean? Like, they go, right, I'm going to do this job and I'm going to do it for the rest of my life and I'm going to provide for my family. And I know that's no, I know I will never be satisfied with that kind of life, right? And then I'm reading that book and I'm going, I'm no going down that path. And I said, I don't want to. I said, I don't really care that they were destined for that because they've done that. But the biggest part that it tells you is you need to put in hours to be really good at something.
Yeah, there's a common theme in everything.
Everybody who is good, who has been doing something for a very, very fucking long time, and they've been doing it. This is where I would say to clients, you can come into the gym and you can half-arse it. And you can speak to somebody who's been got to the gym for 5 years, who's been half-arsing it. They've not got 5 years worth of experience, right? They've got maybe 3 months.
But also see the episode we done when it said what makes some of our clients, our more successful clients, successful. A lot of that is experience as well. They've got history of really understanding the journey and that sort of stuff, which is fascinating. But yeah, it's like 10,000 hour rule, and that gets bashed from time to time as well. Because you're right, it has to be 10,000 hours of good doing the right thing. No 10,000 hours of like kind of tiptoeing and muddling about and kind of half-arsing it, as you said. And that's really changed my mindset on like a lot of things instantaneously. Right, it makes you like. We were saying to who were we speaking to? Was it Rio and that were in Rio and Lucas? Yeah. And they were saying, "Oh, how is the podcast going?" And the podcast, for you guys that listen, like, it's going extremely well, and hugely grateful for you. But when me and James sat down, I think. We never said this out loud, and I don't know if we've said it on a podcast, but we never sat down and went, we need to be making this much money for the podcast in this amount of time. We've just went, this is something we're going to do forever. In all honesty. I can't see a time where I'm not doing it, because it's value that we're providing to the space in our whole mission statement of the integrity we have, the message we want to kind of communicate to people. It just feels good to do it, and it feels right. And that's where you asked, why did we not have that frame of mind the first 10 episodes? Well, we're continually getting better and better at our craft. And see, the funny thing is, right, and this, so you look at the podcast, how much hours have you put into the podcast? I'm just about to do the math on it. So say the average episode is about an hour 10. But it's not even just the podcast. It's the lead up to the podcast. It's after the podcast. It's trailers for the podcast. It's clips for the podcast. It's everything that we've done in the last year. And then when you read something like that, you go, man, that was all worth it. So if you look at the 10,000 hour rule, right, see, in terms of podcasting, we're only at 200. We've not even broke 1,000 hours. But we're 1,000 minutes, maybe. Like, but we're no just that. We're well past that. What? We're about 500 all in. All of different things, yeah. When we talk about editing, learning, podcasting, you know what I mean? Like, and then you put that. They can only get better. But that's 500 good hours. It's solid hours, and then gone and PTing with people, because what we speak about the podcast is what we speak about people. So you're consistently gone with the frame of mindset after the podcast to speaking about people the same. Now if you're waking up and you're not doing anything like that,
and then you go to work and you're just like, I need to be here, and then you need to go home, you're like, I'm happy with that, then the hours don't add up and equal to be the same.
No, but you were asking, like, why do people not have that urgency? Do you think it's imposter syndrome? Because you had a bit of that at the start. I think you just said that last week.
I know I did that. Big,
You're like, that's what kind of held you back in a way.
It does hold you back, man. Imposter syndrome holds you back. And we said in a few podcasts ago, someone told you imposter syndrome will always be there.
Yeah.
Think that's true?
I think, I guess so. If it's not there, then your ego's too much because you think you're the best. I think there's a fine line between ego and being confident. You know what I mean? Like, ego, arrogant, and confidence are all traits that we do want to have, because it kind of sets your authoritative standpoint. But if there's too much ego involved, then you're not going to hear the opposing argument. For example, which
absolutely.
would never be the case. Having passion and fire behind your stance, you need to have confidence in that.
Yeah. I
guess imposters, I don't know. I think as you start leveling up, you go to like a different, like you go from 0 to the top, right? The glass ceiling. You get to that glass ceiling, then you move into another pool. So the other pool would be,
and you
we're
get
surrounded by, you're right at level 1 again, and you're like, oh fuck, I've got this imposter syndrome. So I'm trying to think of things that I can compare it to, like starting a podcast studio. I was like, man, I can't start a podcast studio. I can't do that. Like, look at G4 and the green room and all these other ones. But then you start doing it, and you're like, oh, you know what? I've got confidence in myself to do this.
Yeah.
But taking the leap's probably the hardest thing.
Taking the leap's always the hardest thing, no matter what.
We've got what November's nearly closing out. We should do a podcast and kind of recommend to you guys to email in kind of the goals that you're setting, kind of looking back at this year and one thing that you want to set forward for going next year.
So I'll tell you straight up, when I wrote down, I said I want to be making 4K by January, I look back at it, I knew, ripped it up.
Did you?
Bin it.
We said something on the podcast. We need to go back and listen to that.
I can't remember.
Remember we done a New Year's resolution podcast?
Last year?
Yeah. We done it at the start of January.
Well, we can skip this year's, man.
We need to listen to it because it's kind of recognising, right? I think talking about it in the maturity of, look, that was maybe an immature goal.
Aye.
Like you said, because it was all focused on the outcome.
I would say that the 4K for me, looking what I've learned now about everything, so immature. It's just the same as my clients looking to lose £10. What does 4K means? I can pay my bills and be happy, right? It's obviously financial security is obviously the key. But if I change that goal, right? 4K won't actually make me happy, right? 3.5, I'd be fine with that. 3, I'd be fine with that. Do you know what I mean?
6, 12, it genuinely doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And you know what? There will become a time where I will make more, like very, very, very soon. Like everything's on the high, but that's because I simply binned that and wrote everything else down. And I wrote
the processes.
The processes. I need to be better at this. I need to have better at this. I need to put more effort into this. I need to put more effort into this. That's what leads to that desired outcome.
Yeah.
It's no that
fuels it.
Aye. This is like you writing down, I want to lose £10 or I want to gain £10 if you're trying to gain muscle. That is just arbitrary. You have no fucking idea how long it will actually take you to get there. No.
Who cares if it's 10 years? Who cares if it's 3? Who cares if it's 6 weeks?
What would get you there though? Yeah. Write that down. How fast can you do that? Right? Try and do that as fast as you can, and then whatever happens, happens.
Well, this is good.
If you're doing all that well, then you will. Something will happen. Good
segue into today's topic, but before we get into that, I want to talk about just real quickly as well the whole. What was it? It was a recent paper. Oh fuck! I didn't write the actual link down. I'll find it after the show and put it in the show notes. But it was like 40% of people with hypertension and type 2 diabetes, 40% of those people weren't classed as obese, right? And I was like, how the fuck have they got this? And I was thinking like genetics, but then I'm like, but genetically they've been fine their whole lives. Like, what's happened? And they're under muscled. They've got less strength and muscle in their body. And there's a wee bit of movement just now that obesity epidemic is something that we spoke about. But I think we should do a wee bit of kind of deep diving into the lack of muscle epidemic that's happening and the side effects and what that can cause. So less muscly you are, the less you don't have as much strength. And have you ever came across a client that's like, I guess they'd be falling into the category of skinny fat, right? So they kind of they're quite small and light, but when you kind of look at if you ever do measurements with your clients and you're like, you're kind of falling like BMI wise, you're falling into the obese category, but you're like 60 kilo, 70 kilo. How's that possible? And it's because of the you get different. Do you remember in your PT qualification it was like your pear shaped, your apple shape, and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, shit.
So I was thinking about that this morning, and I was like, "Fuck, that's actually so true." That muscle is very important to everyone's health journey, and I think there's still a bit of a kind of stigma around muscle. Oh fuck!
No, don't I get too bulky?
Nah, do I look like that CBum? Okay, see, when we talk about genetics, he's at the top of the tree, right?
Good fucking luck.
Environment and all that. You could have the best environment, but you ain't getting there.
No.
Some people, and again, it's like you're used to seeing CBum, for example, and you keep seeing it, and if it's on look, you're like, did you? Oh, did you?
Aye.
I like to see where his fatherhood journey is going to go.
I like him. I was like, does it actually add any value to my life? No.
Yeah.
I don't like bodybuilding, so what's the point?
Aye, what am I doing? It's just getting me annoyed.
It doesn't actually get me.
No,
I actually like CBum. I think he's a good guy.
Mm.
I think he's a top guy. The message he actually spreads. But at the end of the day, as bodybuilding, he is abusing PEDs. So
true, fair.
It's like
Fair.
He's a good guy, but
so yeah. But in terms of building muscle, that's fascinating that you can still develop some chronic health issues that would fall into the category of obese people can only get this.
Yeah.
And just because you might not be morbidly obese or obese, and you're like, I'm not
you've
that.
got a lot of fat compared to the amount of muscle you've had.
Have you ever met anybody in your family that's got a hard stomach? Like their belly's like swollen. It's like, aye, but that's solid. Referred to as the one pack.
I've got a lot of family members whose health isn't fantastic.
Well, that's what I mean. But like the whole point, and again, that's kind of pointing to this visceral fat that's not really spoke about. The fact that if you guys are listening, it's fat that attaches to your organs as opposed to the kind of fat that sits in the outer part of the body. And a lot of people are in disbelief. It's like, nah, I'm all right. So I can still.
That's because they see skinny as health. Like, it's always been the case. You get skinnier, you're healthier.
Very distorted.
That's your fitness journey. Your fitness journey is getting skinnier.
Yeah, and I didn't really have this in my arsenal to communicate back to when we done the obesity episode. I
know, we've learned a lot.
I got a message from someone saying, I don't think obesity is as big as a problem as you think. I think it's the skinnier thing that's more of a problem. This was someone that worked in the NHS, and I was like, I hear your point. I do. I hear your point, but I think if you go down a high street, and you kind of look about, you can see that it's just ill health. Well, you might not class it as obese, but it's a combination of both. I would
actually agree with that point, because when everything is in play with your health, like your habits and your lifestyle is good, very easy to lose body fat, right? But if you're in health, if you're holistic health, the way you treat yourself, your habits, your food choices, your training is poor, your health is going to be poor. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to be making worse choices, worse habits. You're going to get obese from that fact, I would say. And that's why obesity is probably mostly caused. That's what I see now. Yeah. You ask people, how do you eat? And you hear them, you go, whoa, fucking hell. Much do you move? Whoa, fucking hell.
Did you see the who shared it? Was it Max Lukavia or one of the accounts I follow? Remember we were talking about the Hadza tribe? The tribe who
ran all the time.
They run and they live like modern day hunter gatherers, right? So guess how much they move on a daily basis. So bear in mind they burn the same amount of calories as the average American who watches TV and lives an office life.
35,000 steps.
I think you're actually spot on. 19 miles.
Right.
19 miles a day they move. Yet their calorie burn is the equivalent to that.
The reason I know that is because when I went to that rave, I moved 35,000 steps.
Danced all day.
And I was like, see, if you're a hunter-gatherer, I can imagine them being like that.
Yeah, so it's 10,000, what is it, the average pace, 9,500, 10,000 miles, about 10,000 steps is about 5 miles, so 5. So it's mad to think like some people that move that much, it's not just quite as simple as move more, eat less, because these guys are moving like the absolute max.
When I'm speaking to clients, I'm like, it's no move more, eat less. This is no what we're doing. We are eating more, moving a little bit more, no doubt. I say, see if your steps are high, we're still eating more. We're not moving anymore. But you're going to be training more. You're going to be lifting weights more.
But I think the whole move more, eat less movement is
simplicity.
Aye, but it's also part to why people are losing muscle.
Oh, aye, fuck aye.
Because it's all like, right, okay, I'll run. It's like, man, I just wish, I know you love running, but I just wish you kind of went down this path of resistance training.
Yeah.
Which leads us nicely on to today's conversation. 32 minutes in. Here we go.
Here we go.
This is meant to be a deep dive episode, but you know, as we love a chit chat. So, how do you start your fitness journey? We've done episodes like this in the past, but I think, as we said, there's a lot of lessons learned this year, and I don't think our approach has necessarily changed, but we want to kind of lay out a framework that you can follow if you, or maybe someone that you know is struggling to get started. After the back of this episode, you should have a good understanding on where to start with your fitness journey.
Yep.
Now, for you guys who are in your fitness journey, still worth listening to, because when you break it down, there might be things that you go, man, I'm being really hard on myself with that certain area. I'm going to pivot and change to what we say in today's episode. So kind of moving on to the let's kind of start where you mentioned, was this off? And this might have been off camera when you were talking about it. Like, you need to find something you enjoy. However, before you even start your fitness journey, you've not started because you don't enjoy it, right? You think of it and it's a chore. And I think we all have the things that we do that it's like, man, I don't know if I can be bothered doing that, but the reward is in doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's an element of discipline right at the start of this process, and where you jump into that path, you might be right in and you just got, right, cool, I'm motivated, I'm ready to get after it. Or you might be the person that jumps in and it's like, man, I don't know if this is for me. I think sticking to it for, what would you say, 3 months? Bless you. So sticking to it for about 3 months would be the kind of rule of thumb before you make any rash decisions. Now, sticking to something for 3 months doesn't mean you're dialed every week on, week out. It's just some weeks are better than others, but for the 3 months, you're going after it.
Yeah.
So, in terms of where to start, there's kind of a lot that you can throw at it, and it's not just doing the whole kind of kitchen sink approach where it's like, do this, do that, like move more, eat less, blah 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 blah.
Aye.
Where are you starting? Like from let's kind of break the categories down. So I would say the movement part is one element.
Yep.
The nutrition part is another pillar. After that, we've got your kind of external hormonal biofeedbacky type things like your sleep,
you need to be trying
and your digestion and your mood and stress and whatnot. You've then got the workout. Did I say the workout?
No.
Kind of losing track.
No. Movement you started with.
Aye. And then so that would fall into the category of like water and stuff like that.
And before we go any further, if you want to succeed in your fitness journey, right, and you want to continue to do it without it being too much of a chore, you need to do all 4 of these things at the start. Now, you don't need to go balls to the wall with them, but you do. I would say if you want to be successful, you do need to do them all, because you'll have a much better understanding of yourself.
You need to be at least tracking them all.
Aye.
Because awareness is what we always say is kind of the first thing you need to understand is like going,
who are you?
Aye, it's like where is your lifestyle at? Because if 10,000, I love using that analogy, the 10,000 steps. Like, okay, Dale, I'll walk 10,000 steps a day, and it's like, right, cool, brilliant. Oh, I'm struggling. Right, how much are you moving? I only do about 1,500 steps a day. It's like, that's fucking 5-fold of what you're doing. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. So understanding where you are, definitely tracking all of them, tracking them from a week. And I think let's start the conversation on the nutrition bit, right? So everyone's probably heard of your BMRR calculators, which is your online calculators. If you use MyFitnessPal, it's what they use. And for today's episode, I want to do like a wee example of James, right? And this is where everyone, I've said it many times in the podcast before, that everyone's got their own fingerprint when it comes to their nutritional output. So if I put online macros, right, so James is going to shout out to me. So what would your goal be just now?
What's the
No, I'm saying what is your goal? To lose weight, gain weight, or maintenance?
Bulking.
Well, actually, let's start there. So your fitness, getting started in your fitness journey, you need to understand your why.
Aye.
Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing it?
Aye.
What would be some whys that you've heard in the past that you've had to kind of challenge some of your newer clients on?
I just want to look a bit better. All right, does that it? Well, you may as well just cut the call off. No, but genuinely, I'm like, why do you want to look better?
Do you know the argument I love as well with this? No, look better. It's that I want to lose weight. I don't care how I do it. I just want to lose weight. Cut your arm off then. Oh, you don't want to lose weight that much? Oh, okay, right. So it's getting down into a deeper level.
It's actually quite funny because
it's true.
I'll actually quite early in the calls that I've been having. By the way, just so you know, first 12 weeks, no one's goals to lose weight with me, and instantaneously they know. Like you do not come to me to lose weight, and the reason I do that is because I've had a couple of clients in the past, and I explain this to people. I've tried to put them in a cut early, and I've regretted it forever. Still think about it to this day. Go, why the fuck did I do that? And well, I know why I done it, because I was naive and I didn't fully know.
Part of the process.
But I'll never do that with MD ever again for that reason, because I seen that it was the totally wrong decision to do. They had nothing. They were never ready, and most people are in the same box.
It's that whole, like, you don't know what normal feels like, and if you're going into a state of already high stress, fuck it, right, I can do this, you just add more problems and stress to that mix, and it's a weird phenomenon. Like, that's why, like, it'll come up to the season of the challenges and everything that goes on, where it's all about getting shredded, and you'll hear us fight against that, and hopefully we can actually bring somebody on that can fight the argument for it. But I still don't see the good in the challenge.
Somebody in the other day, and I was explaining, and she was like, I would like to look good from a holiday, and I was like, I'll explain something to you. I was like, see, because I was like, I went on holiday long ago. She's like, because I was explaining to her, I do the same thing all the time, I don't change anything. And she was like, also for like 3 or 4 weeks before it, but you cut. I was like, no, I don't do anything. I go on holiday the way I am. I said, because I'm on track all the time. I said I'll do maintenance phases, I'll do bulking phases, I'll do cutting phases if I really feel like I need to do a cutting phase, but it's not for my holiday. I go on holiday the way I am. And she's like, oh fuck, do you? And I was like, aye, because I've spent so long building it, and I said that's what I said that's the best way that I see today. Because how does it feel when you go to cut? Does it feel great? Like, I need to cut for this. How do you feel you're on a holiday? You never feel that great. And I says, what's the difference between you being 2% body fat different on holiday? Fuck all. And I was like, that's the way you need to look at your full life. I said, if you realise you're going to be doing this forever, then you're going to go on holiday feeling good all the time. Yeah,
and also, like, how many people can actually cut with double the amount of calories that their pals do it with?
Aye.
That's the other valuable thing. It's like, well, yeah, we can. So for me, I'm on the same page as you. Like, I would absolutely communicate that. On the other side of that, if you want to use the holiday as the kind of snapshot to dictate when your cut is, then we'll do it, but we'll do it the right way.
It needs to be a far away holiday.
Exactly.
It can't be 1-2 months away.
And this is the thing, I want to cut somebody right up to their holiday. Now, I've done it with clients in the past just because limited on time in the way that they've came to me. But I would cut somebody probably 6 weeks before their holiday, 3 weeks of a cut, and then read back to maintenance. Because the thing you don't realise with a cut, when you go, you're so depleted and you get that snapshot of how depleted you are, then that becomes your whole fixated vision. So as soon as you have the first cocktail or the first buffet breakfast, you're like, oh man, what was that for? So if you kind of refeed and go into a maintenance or a reverse diet into your holiday, you're stronger, your hormones are better, your energy's good, so you're going to enjoy it more. And that's the important thing. Right, so starting with nutrition then. Let's do this wee exercise, because I think this is very important to communicate. You can use these calculators as a guidance, but just understand that it can be way off in the example that I'm probably going to go over. So what age are you?
26.
Height?
5'10".
5'10"?
That's what you said.
5'9"?
That's what you said. You tell me 5'10".
What is that in centimetres?
Oh, fuck knows. I've no 172 or something.
Wait no. 5.
I think it's like 172. What
is 5'9"?
Why is it fucking knowing feet and inches?
I don't know. It's just whatever one I've picked, right? In centimetres. 177.8 for you guys that want to do the math, right? Right, 177.8. So here's where it gets interesting. So height, 177.8. So what is your weight just now?
80.4 kilo hours this morning.
80.4. Okay, so it then asks you for your activity level, how often you're exercising, what would you say that your job level is. So it goes from little to no exercise to very intensive exercise daily or physical job. So in that range, the breakdown,
Again?
So it goes from little to no exercise,
Right.
all the way up to very intense exercise daily or physical job. I would
before that.
So intensive exercise 6 or 7 times a week.
Nah.
So you'd say daily exercise, intense exercise 3 to 4 times a week. So that's your lifts.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Aye, so we'll go with that one, right? Your goal? What's your goal just now?
Probably in the intensive, mate, because I've got ADHD.
Aye, that's what I said. Intense 3-4 workouts.
Aye.
What's your goal just now? Yours to gain weight?
Yeah.
And this is the thing as well, right? These are all goals around weight. And this is the thing that it fucking channels you down a route that you might not have an interest in.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, your goal should not be around weight. It should not be around looks. I say shouldn't not be, like, it can be the measurement milestone, but ultimately the goal for most people should be starting with getting stronger and getting healthier. And that's a very broad statement. We'll break that down later in the episode and what that looks like. So you want to gain weight. Do you want so here's the mad thing. So this is mad, this calculator. This is like the top search calculator as well.
Is that TDE? TDEE?
Calculator.net, this one is.
Right.
Shame on you guys, right? Extreme weight loss, 2 pounds per week, so 1 kilo per week, which is standard if you're in the right cut as well.
But that's heavy.
I know. So what are you saying yours is? What weight gain?
I'm weight gain.
Do you want to gain 2.5 kilos a week, or would you like to gain
2.5 kilos?
Or would you like to gain 1 kilo a week?
1 kilo a week?
Aye.
1 kilo a week?
This calculator's going to get you there. You'd love to gain
1 kilo a week?
Would you like to gain 1 kilo a week?
That's fucking that's heavy.
Aye. So let's click that and see what it says.
That's £2 a week.
So let's see what that's to do for you, right? So what this does, this calculates a ballpark figure of calories, and this is why I wanted to do this live, because I know you're dialed in on the amount of calories that you have, and you're very regimented and consistent to where you are, right? So grams of protein that you have to have per day, 230.
Right, I'm having about 270.
Right,
but that's I don't pick that number, it's just because that's my diet.
That's okay. Carbs, you have to have 503 grams.
Quite a lot.
Fat, 107.
I'm eating more than that.
Calories, 3,700 calories. If you eat 3,700 calories, James, you will gain 1 kilo a week.
Right.
How much calories have you been consuming for the last 6 months?
So the last 6 weeks I can go for. For the first, I only started eating 2 days ago, 4,150. And I've not really been training for the last 3 weeks properly, maybe 3 times a week. So that's even less than that. And I have gained 1.5 kilos in 6 weeks. And that's with not training.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as you train, you'll probably lose that.
Yeah, so I'm going up to 4,350 this week.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to start training again.
So the whole point of this exercise is to show you that, like,
so that's 500 calories less than what I eat. It's 1.5 kilos less than what it said I should gain.
No, 6 weeks would be 6 kilos.
6 kilos, I fuck.
Aye, it's no 1.5. It's
Oh,
four.
aye.
It's 4.5 kilos off, right? So let's use this.
And I hadn't done a shite before this morning. So it's 80.4 before the shite.
So let's reverse this, because most people's goal is going to be to lose weight, and everybody always clicks the extreme weight loss one, right?
Yeah.
So you have to eat 1,700 calories if you want to lose weight.
I have?
Aye.
I die.
So, aye, exactly. So this is where
My cutting phase would be 3,300.
easy, maybe a wee bit higher, I'd say.
Aye.
Because you've not been kind of losing much.
Aye.
The whole point of me doing that exercise there is to show you that it's not to compare your lifestyle to James, because James falls into a category of people where.
But that's 1,600 calories off.
Huge.
1,600
And this
calories.
is and this is a very extreme example, but I want to highlight the importance of using these calculators, and why I'm going to start with the nutritional part of track where you're at for least 2 weeks, right?
So I was on a call with somebody yesterday, and this is where this is so valuable that you track for you. No one else, not a calculator. Fuck the calculators. See, and I know why.
I wouldn't say fuck them.
No, I would. If you...
I mean, I don't know how you would fuck them. It's a wee bit weird.
I'd say fuck them. I'd say there's no calculator that's going to tell you, right. That's
Oh,
what.
yeah.
There's no.
But you know, I think it's good to, like, somebody
and-
that's absolutely clueless and doesn't know what to eat and wants to make a change, it starts them somewhere.
No, because I was explaining to you why.
Okay,
So,
sorry for
I was on a call yesterday, somebody who's struggling. And the people who are struggling for a reason, because these things are wrong for them.
they're masking a problem. That's a
Right.
fair point.
Right? And if they were right, then they're not gonna be stuck there. They're gonna be well past. Because as soon as you start seeing progress, you start learning that a little bit more and you're on your journey.
Yep.
Right? Whatever way it is whatever way it is. So it was like, when I'm on track, I'm really good with my nutrition. And I says, explain what good means. He's like, well, I put it in a calculator and I get the number and I stick to it. And I'm on the ball and I'm losing. I go, cool. So what's this calculator telling you? Like 2,200. I'm like, right. He's like, but see, to be honest with you, I'm like, what are you eating now? He's like, see, to be honest with you, I'm eating a lot. So would you say 3,500, 4,000? He's like, genuine, probably, aye. I'm like, right. I'm like, so you're eating about 1,500 to nearly 2,000 less on that calculator.
Yeah, you
Think
that's
how
good?
you feel after 2 weeks of eating 2,000 less. Yeah, you lost weight. Perfect. Great. You'll feel fucking terrible.
So this is a very key point. Food is energy, and food has more value than weight loss and weight gain.
Always.
Every one of these calculators is, like I said, channeling down this route. What's your goal? Gain weight, lose weight.
Yeah.
Forget that shit now, right? Eat food and track, which when we come on to the next part, which is going to be like your external factors of how you're measuring life, how you're measuring progress. So food is energy, and with more food comes more energy. And that's where there's the fine line of the right foods and working all that sort of stuff out. So some guidelines for people to do is your 2 weeks, you're tracking. Just
Track everything you eat and drink.
Everything that's got calories in it. And just see what that ends up as. So
It fucking depends.
most people are going to have averaging about 7 to 9 days of fully tracked days, because, to be honest, this is a tedious thing to do. And this is the only reason I'm thinking there is a wee bit of value in just using a calculator, because discipline-wise, if your discipline's so broken that you can't even track your food, then all you're doing is prolonging that journey. But then again, I would go down and maybe another route, which would be just giving protein guidance and increasing
That will help them.
So you track your food, you get your 14 days worth of calories, or however many fully days that you've got tracked. Divide that number by the days that you've got fully tracked. So in this case, 14 days of calories times by added up in total,
Fucking
divided by
hell,
14.
man.
Jesus, man.
Fucking.
Give me one of the energy drinks, man. I get more cognitively sharp. But that's going to spit out a number, and that number is going to be where your starting point
your
is
baseline
of your calories. Now, your goal isn't around weight loss and weight gain. This is really an education and understanding piece, because a very, very important factor of what's going to make you successful and what's going to help you do this whole game of health and fitness forever is really understanding why you're doing what you're doing, like the knowledge and understanding behind it. So why we've got this podcast, why we've got tons of episodes to help educate you guys, and this is a starting point, because you've got to find out a lot about yourself through that one little process.
Aye. You're going to start being more mindful instantaneously. Like, it's like you track your food, but don't change anything, and they go, right.
Aye.
And then because they know, it's like, right, I'm going to change this then, because I know that's a wee bit better. And it's like people start changing it instantaneously. And then once they've tracked everything, they've got the calorie and protein, but they've also started implementing a little bit. So straight away, you've no said, try and eat a little bit more mindful. They instantaneously do it.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, you've got your starting base, but you've also got a slightly more mindful way of eating.
Yeah. And so you got your measurements, and whatever you're using, like MyFitnessPal or whatever nutritional tracking app that you're doing, try and avoid the guidance that they're giving you. Like, we just showed you how way off the guidance can be on these apps.
Don't listen to the guidance.
So you got your 14 days worth of information. What are you doing on that? Well, educating yourself around fat doesn't make you fat, okay? Carbs is an energy source. Carbs aren't bad for you. Protein's not demonized, right? So don't get caught up in the whole propaganda of all these different things. To an extent, sugar's not extremely bad depending on where you're getting it from.
Don't go carnivore. Don't go keto. Don't intermittent fast. Don't do any of these fad diets. because you don't know what the fuck you're doing yet.
Yeah. So we need to it's baby steps with this.
Baby
And
fucking
it's-
steps.
So I guess I'll be interested to see what your take is in this. I would say pay attention to two metrics inside your nutrition. So you got your calorie number, and then you're breaking that down, and I want you to look at your protein, and I want you to look at your fiber, and whatever that number is, I want you to try and boost it up to get closer to the goal of your 0.7 to 1,
Yeah.
0.1, 1.2, I'd probably say. The only reason I like pushing that higher with some people is because it just naturally phases out the other foods. But protein is probably one of the more challenging things for my female clients when I think about it.
Oh, fuck aye.
It's always there. So let's say you do the math, right? Let's say you're a sick, and if you're someone who is maybe in the obese or morbidly obese category, take what your ideal weight would be. Like, you've got a weight in mind, because you might look at it and be like, I have to eat 400 grams of protein. What the fuck? Chill, don't worry. Kind of take your ideal weight.
Genuinely,
you want to get to.
I look at the protein. I work the calories the same with the protein. I genuinely do. If you're eating 70 grams of protein, I want you to try and eat 80. Or get one more snack in, which could be 25. It's the great thing about these snacks.
Aye, there's always-
Right, they be yogurts, man. They're fucking great. They up your protein more than ever. You can have them at your breakfast. It's so funny because you can look at that, and I don't know about you, right? I'll go, what you having for your breakfast? Oh, a bit of toast. Some Weetabix. Right,
Class.
that's
Now, toasted Weetabix. Oh my god.
that's where I know what the fuck he's doing with your life. But it's always the same. I'm like, what the fuck he's eating in the morning?
It's marketing.
Mate, it's insane. I go,
It's
right.
also convenience, and this is a big part of your nutrition.
Aye.
Convenience is important.
Convenience is majorly important. I go, right, cool. You know what the fucking easiest thing for you to do is? Start having a slightly bigger breakfast, and protein oats are so fucking easy. Overnight oats. Yeah, you know what? Some people don't like them, but most people, see when they hear it's quick and easy, I'll do that.
Aye. Is it playing the convenience card is
They
the
go,
big thing.
cool, man.
So 0.7 to 1.2, let's say, times your body weight in kilos, and that becomes your protein goal.
Aye,
Okay. Now, as James said, if you're miles off that, let's say you're getting 60 grams of protein, you're meant to be getting 120, then just bump it up a little. And the goal is to bump it up until you can get to that goal. It's not just, like I said, throwing the whole kitchen sink at it. There's baby steps, kind of climbing up to that as best you can. Start with one meal. And this is where you start figuring out, fuck, man, why do I feel so good?
Aye.
Why is my energy changing?
As soon as you start feeling good, hitting that protein goal becomes no bother.
I know. And we've not even spoke about movement. We've not even spoke
No.
about workouts. But this is why this is one of the key pillars, because people change the shapes of their body and change their health dramatically by just focusing on the nutrition, right? It's arguably probably the hardest thing and more complex thing to get after. But like workouts, you follow the workout. The nutrition, you could follow the meal plan, but then there's a night out, and what do you do around all this, and it throws you off track. So
I had somebody the other night, and we've been doing really well with relationship with food. Now, it hit her. Somebody got her a big donut thing. I don't even know what it was. She sent me a picture. She says, "Can I eat this?" I says, "Don't ever ask me that again." Right?
or I'll punch your fucking face in.
I said, "Don't ever ask me that again, but I have it." Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to message her saying, "Hey, just so you know, I said don't ever demonise food. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, look, when it comes to kind of foods and you kind of think about it, I want you to think back, and I want you to go, instead of going, is this good or bad? I want you to go, am I going to have this? If the answer is yes, I want you to just to say to yourself, how does this make me feel?"
Yeah.
That's it.
It's funny because this is where you start seeing clients' mindsets changing a little bit.
Aye.
Because she's asking you, because she's crying out for guidance, and
Aye.
you're like, you're on the right track. Don't fucking do that again.
No, I just said have it.
No, I know. You said have, but it's getting down into deeper levels. Like, why do you feel the need to ask me?
No,
It's like, well,
I
because I'm trying to
fucking-
make a good choice. Okay, so do you see that as a bad choice? Well, I guess so. So why is that a bad choice? And you get into that. At the end of the day, food serves purpose. Food's in our culture. It needs to be enjoyed, and we need to enjoy the taste of some things. But you'll find if you instill these pillars of focusing on protein and focusing on actual eating more good food, you'll savour the taste of these good things, but it will not be as much as what you think. It's not as if...
It's weird.
It's
so hard to describe to people who aren't doing that, but that food doesn't taste as good.
People
it's not as moreish.
People think you are restricted because you're working on your health and fitness, but in reality,
you just don't want it.
That was the tweet or the thread that I posted the other day. Like, people think focusing on your health is so restrictive when focusing on your health actually allows you to become more free.
Aye.
Like Saturday night, we were lying about, just chilling out, and I said to Jana, "You want to go to McDonald's get McFlurry?" She's like, "No, I had any." And she's like, "Oh,
I had McDonald's last week."
And an actual McDonald's. Shite. It's terrible, isn't it?
So
anyway,
bad.
so we go there and Jill has a McDonald's and I was like, oh man, I crave chips. I love McDonald's chips. And I had them and I'm eating them and going, it's all right.
That's exactly what I feel like.
Actually, we prefer to have my steak and mashed potatoes.
I'm like, thank God I don't enjoy this
So,
anymore.
and there's a whole other side to this conversation of your taste buds and your palate changing. You don't like vegetables and fruit because you're oversensitizing your taste buds with chocolate and these sweet endorphins of fucking manufactured, engineered. I was going to say shit there. It's no shit. I guess it's just a product that's been created to make you want less of the good foods.
Here's where, if anybody's listening and they're like, right, I'm going to cut that out.
I don't know why we keep saying that.
What?
If anyone's listening, we get
Obviously,
20,000 downloads.
Whoever is listening, this is the biggest thing. So I had a new client come in and I was like, right, this is going to be another challenge for me. Something completely different. Younger. So like still going to, you know what I mean? Still enjoying herself, but we had a lot to work on. And I was like, how do I go about this? And I was like, right, I've read Atomic Habits. I understand that a habit is there for a reason because you're always going to do it. You're always going to do something with your time when it comes to it. And I was like, right, so you can't take out habits, which is great to learn when you're talking to obese people who struggle with food. Because they go to food for a specific purpose.
There's a deeper kind of emotional...
And they're always going to go for something when it comes to that. But they're so unaware. And you always go for something when you're feeling some sort of way. Might not be food, it might be gaming, it might be whatever. I'll always do the same. I'll listen to music.
We've all got something.
Take the hat off it, right? And we've all got bad habits when things come into play. Now, people come and they go, I'm going to cut out this and I'm going to cut out that. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can do it for a wee while because willpower only lasts so long, right? But here's where we changed and I'm like, fuck, it worked. And I was like, right, will it work? Will it? I says, look, when you feel like this, you want something sweet. It's clear, innit? I was like, what fruit do you like is sweet? She, I love pineapple. I love pineapple. She said, I love it. Right, so she loves it. I'm like, what I want you to do is I want you to get some pineapple and make sure it's always there. I say, when you feel like that, go for the pineapple and then see how you feel after it. If you still want X, Y, and Z, go for it. And she says, I'm doing it every time. I'm getting some pineapple.
Just had 5 kilos of pineapple.
I'm getting some other grapes of that. Like, well, we're still getting calories in. But what we're doing is we're changing the palate. The palate is different.
Mate, even to me this day, like Jill started buying apples for the weekly shop. So I had an apple the other day and I was like,
that was really good.
Man, these taste so good. Same with bananas and it's always still like as much as my diet is, or the food that I don't like using the word diet, the food that I consume on a regular basis is very little high sugary type foods other than the dark chocolate that I have, right? And I still look at it and I was like, I can't be bothered eating that yogurt and banana. But then it's the only thing I've brought up with me. So then I have it and I'm like, this banana's fucking great. This is so good. So this is the thing, like you're not just going to change your palate like that. No. Like that's years of my body eating Nutella when I'm gaming, having takeaways, crisps, chocolate, sweets, you know. I remember actually one year, I was about 10 or 11. This is the fucking good and bad thing when your mum and dad split up. Christmas is crazy. I remember one year having something like 30 selection boxes.
Because you're going there,
30,
right? And then you go there and you go, I've not had anything yet.
We had like a bid. Imagine like Santa's fucking sack, not his ball sack, his actual present sack, filled with chocolate, and we dug into that. And you just think about all those things. That's history and memory that's imprinted into my metabolism, behaviours, the taste, the we've all got that thing where we smell something and it takes us back to childhood. We listen to something, it takes us back. Same with taste. It's like, oh man, like, do you remember these wee Horlicks biscuit things? It's like baby food. No. Oh, I remember having them. Like, I just bought them once, but anyway, that's just the whole.
I fucking the idea.
But things like that, like food is. Food. This is where food can be quite complex, but as you change your palate, like you will change your behaviours around them as well.
Aye, because the idea came for the hang with the cigarette, and he swapped it for a lollipop. Aye. Lollipops aren't great, but do you know what? Better than a cigarette. And I was like, you know what? We're still getting calories, we're still getting high sugar, but it's not the same. No. And she's like, I'm fucking loving that. Also, like, great, right? And what happens for that is she starts feeling better. And what happens when you start feeling better? You start changing other habits, and it's a slow process. From that one habit, you go, I want to change something else. You actually say in your mind, I want to. You don't need advice from someone else. It's
belief in yourself as well, because it's starting to build this confidence in your own ability. It's like we talk about the adversity that's created through lifting weights.
Aye.
Same with saying no to some, maybe not no to some foods, but having the ability to swap out foods and understand this whole nutritional component. And let's be honest, can you overeat pineapple? No. It'd be fucking hard to. Can you overeat chocolate?
See,
easy peasy.
You can still get overweight on good food. No, you can't. No, it's fucking impossible.
It's hard.
It's fucking hard. People who say that are having a few takeaways a week still, but in the day they're having maybe a breakfast and lunch.
I know.
But then they're ruining it in dinner, and that's not to say that the food isn't good in the day. But they're swapping it for this processed food, and processed food is so destructive.
It's more palatable. Taste. Look, there's no doubt about it. It tastes better. It does taste better. And when you're, and this is the weird thing.
Quick.
Aye, it's convenience. It's long shelf life. There is a lot of benefits to processed food in a way.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't make it as the first go-to option when it comes to nutrition.
Yep.
Now, there's probably a future episode that we need to do on things where how can you eat quick and easy convenience diet and still focus on your diet. And there is things that you would, is it ideal? No, but it's still better, like you said. It's better than the cigarette. It's better. There's things that are going to be better than the cake.
And they're better for
better than the pizza.
Individual. To you, but it's better than it was.
Yeah. So nutrition, protein, kind of stick around there, go through this learning journey. I'm just looking at the time in this episode and things that we're wanting to do. So it's actually probably better that we make this a 2-part series with the follow-up episode.
Speak about movement now.
Aye, so for the next point here just now.
Aye.
So the last thing on nutrition is fibre is also important, and I think that's why if you start including fruits and vegetables into your food, you'll see that this knocks onto a future pillar, which is digestion.
Aye.
Like digestion is important, and that's to do with the fibre element of your diet. For most people, again, assess where it's at. It'll probably come out about 10 grams, if I'm being brutally honest. Change that 10 grams to 15 to 20. For guys, you want to be about 35, 40. For women, you want to be above 25, right? Somewhere in the range of that. And then work out what makes you feel better. Same with protein. Some people don't do too well on a high protein diet. Like their digestion goes to fuck.
Yeah.
Some people do better on a wee bit less protein, but they're still in that range of 0.7 to 1.2. And this is where bodybuilders they rip the arse out it. And I guess did you experience like much indigestion or digestion issues when you crammed 2 meals together?
I felt like a maniac.
Right. So there's that whole conversation to have, that'll fall into the category of your biofeedback and your digestion and whatnot. So movement then, hit us with it. Move more.
Move fucking more. Track your steps and do the exact same with the steps. You go,
would you do 2 weeks?
I would do a week.
Aye.
You don't even need to track it for. You could actually track it. Oh, you want to track it for a week because you want to see Monday to Friday. You want to see Saturday Sunday. Difference. There's always a difference.
Aye.
For most people, do you know what I mean? Most people live in that life, and then you go, right, what am I hitting an average? And then I would actually kind of look at your weekend and go, right, what's the weekend looking like? What's the weekdays looking like? And then obviously still take the average, but then go look at your schedule and go, right, can I hit extra steps that day, or will I bulk them up in that day? Because some people, the fucking Mondays are crazy. right? They've got kids, they've got this, they've got work, they've got fucking so many things. Now, an arbitrary, so say you're hitting 6k and you go, right, I would like to go 7k, right? Try and hit that 7k. Then you go on a Monday and you go, I don't think I can get any off. Fucked it, right? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to say 6.
It's all actually mindset is. We'll probably combine this with the mindset.
The all or nothing. The all or nothing.
Because this is so valuable. This is what kind of breaks most people's, or the reason why you've probably yo-yo in and out of various different diets and various different things, because the one day that you've missed, you're like, fuck it. Weekends are
fuck
right
it.
off. Start Monday. Let's go again. Get to Tuesday. You're like, you know what? I'll just start Wednesday this week. And then you do a couple of days and then off the wagon, on the wagon. Life isn't a straight line. And as you said, some people's Mondays can be mental. Some people's Tuesdays can be mental.
Aye.
You need to assess life. And that's why everything in each one of these pillars that we're going to run through is awareness first.
Aye.
Understand where you're at. So a good rule of thumb for most people, movement-wise, is trying to get to at least your 7,500 steps. I think it was that when we looked at that previously. So 7,500 steps is the ideal amount. Averaging that over each day.
Yeah.
How you get that is entirely up to you. The banking of steps and going, I'll just make that up the next day is a shaky peg, though. A shaky peg, a shaky line. Is that the right word? I don't know. But only because if you're of that mentality of, I'll just catch up at the weekend, and before you know it, you get to the weekend, you're like, I need to do 50,000 steps today because you've not been as honest with yourself where you could push the boundaries of your steps.
Can I get a wee bit extra?
Now, I do feel for office workers here because it is challenging. I've got actually a client just now who's a beautician on her feet all day, extremely long shifts. Gets to the end of the day, she's on her feet all day, and she'll report in 4,500-5,000 steps. And she said, how am I meant to increase that? And this is where you need to realise that
movement isn't just steps.
This is an important factor. If you're a hairdresser, a barber, a beautician, you're on your feet all day, or maybe you get a manual labour job.
Yeah.
This is where it's a wee bit different for you guys, because that's a lot of
movement's already high.
Stress.
Aye.
And to increase that movement, it's at what cost, right? Aye. So this really depends on where you're at with your journey. So if you're more likely, and it's hard to say if you're hitting under 7,500 steps and just get to 7,500 steps, it's not quite as clean cut. But if you're sat down behind a desk, this is where this applies more to you. So you're looking at your day and you're like, right, can I park a wee bit further away? Can I take the stairs instead of the lift?
Yeah.
When I go shopping, can I park at the furthest away spot?
I've got a client who cycles to work now. I didn't tell her to. Like, she just was like, you know what, I actually see the benefit of getting extra steps in a day. So she cycles. And
look, if I cycle too, so I cycled up to gym today. It's hitting about 10 o'clock and I'm only on 2,000 steps. So there is an element where I'm like, right, okay, I don't
even know how many steps. How do you check it on this again? Is it a step tracker? How do you check it on an Apple Watch?
I couldn't tell you, mate. I'm a Garmin guy now.
I know.
Fuck your Apple pish. Imagine having to charge your watch every night.
This is a banger.
17 days I've went without charging this.
That's good.
Solar charged.
I'm too poor to get
Garmin, sponsor us. So if you're office working, then you're kind of looking at your day. Now, we had a client that posted in a Facebook group that the coach that she was working with was really trying to push her movement capacity, and there was a realisation of it became so stressful to try and hit that number that she was moving even less.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jade. That listens to us. And the whole conversation has to become like, you're doing this for health, right? There's no weight loss goal. The weight loss might be in there, but right now you're looking at your life and you're going, nah, man, like I need to spend time with my kids. Whatever it is, like you need to assess that, because that is also healthy. That's health that you need to factor in.
If you are spending good time with good people, that stress decreases. What happens when stress decreases? You sleep better, and you don't actually need to move just as much. So you're like, I need to hit the 1k steps, right? 1k or whatever it is to hit your goal. But that stresses you to your tits. Then you sleep worse because you're 50 under. You know what I mean? People are like, oh fuck, I'm 1,000 off, right? Like, why? And then like assess it. It's just the self-awareness, and that's why knowledge is so important. And that's why I think going to a good coach is so important.
Yeah, because you get to navigate through
They'll tell you like,
the
what's
communications. Like, this is why you're, like, as much as you're like to your client, don't fucking ever ask me that again. It's from a place of love and bit of banter back and forth. But
know,
this is, but this is where you get those opportunities that, like, I'm really just struggling to hit these steps. And I said this to a client the other day because we had a conversation and we're kind of going through that she's going to get to the gym, right? So we're going to home workouts. And I was like, I wonder what other PTs would actually say in this scenario, because there's a whole, you need to get after it, this isn't good enough. And I know if I have that conversation with this client, she's away.
Gone.
She's gone from health and fitness.
Aye.
And this is
She's
where
not gone for you, she's gone for
I need to meet her where she's at.
Aye.
And you need to meet yourself where you're at in this journey.
Well, the way I look at it is if you said to me 6 months ago, I want you to start, like, I'm training 3 times a week, right? So I'm already pretty consistent. I want you to start training 5 times a week and start hitting more steps, because that's how you would build the muscle and build the strength. I could have done it. I wasn't in the right mindset.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough things in place. My habits were quite poor. I had too much going on in my head. I couldn't have done it. If I was with a coach and said that, I wouldn't have done it. I would have hated them. I'd been like, fuck this, I'm out. I'd have probably, because I'm in the mindset of obviously training anyway, I would have stuck to it. But if you're not in that mindset and you're in that place where you're in limbo, you're in, like, I'm starting my health and fitness journey, I'm no very clued up, you're gone, you're out, you're done. You're like, fuck this. Why the fuck would I ever want to do that? And that's where the downsides of, I had the same thought with a client. I was like, what would other PTs would have done with this client? Because we weren't losing weight. But what every time I was in there, I was like, right, I want to start doing this. I want to start doing that.
I was building these.
I want to start doing that. And then kilo down, and then another wee kilo down. That was it. Not much. But she's like, yes, right, I can see it. And I know in her head now, she's messaging me. She's like, right, I'm going to start doing this. So she instantly knows she's lost 2 kilo now. We didn't lose anything in the first 5 weeks. None. And she was quite heavy. So instantaneously, you were like, oh, I kind of wish she was losing. But then I was like, no, that's the ego talking here. I was like, what can I actually do to genuinely help her as a person on her way? I was like, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'll be on our case.
Yeah, and this is a good thing. There's like so many ways to tackle your health and
But
fitness.
the thing is, if I imagine she came to me, right, and I says, 5 weeks in, 5 kilo down, best PT ever, right? I could have got her to push a wee bit harder. And
At what cost?
At what cost? At what cost to her fitness journey?
No, this is where some people will get fluke. They'll get a fluke with this.
Aye.
Because you'll go, but my pal, she done it, and then look where she is now.
Aye.
And he or she is one of the very few that end up making it out that cycle. There's a reason why that's not worked for you. Because you're yo-yoed. So we already know that if it was going to work, it would have worked by now, right?
Aye.
So we need to take a different approach. You need to meet yourself where you're at.
Yeah.
And here's the beauty of this. So life is seasonal. Aye. It's not just like this time of year. Movement is probably a little bit less.
Yeah.
But see if you're being realistic with your goals and you get that wee dopamine and serotonin release of, man, I set out and done what I said I wanted to do. And I've challenged myself, and okay, I've not been perfect, but I've been doing really good.
Aye.
Seeing there's going to be times where you get a wee bit more on your plate or a wee bit less on your plate.
Aye.
Sun shines out, different things are going on in life. You're like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to push it a wee bit more.
Aye.
I'm going to go a wee bit harder.
Aye.
You've got self-belief in yourself that you've already established some baseline principles when it comes to this sort of stuff. So breaking that down, movement, steps, yes. The other side of this is not just about the steps. So if you're someone actually on the step part, say you reach your ceiling, and you're like, my ceiling is nowhere near 7,500 steps. Let's say it's 4 or 5,000 steps. 7.5. Thanks, Siri. I don't know if you guys hear that, but Siri just told us the answer. 7.5. And you're right, 7,500 steps is ideally where you want to get at. Through your working job, you're going to be capped at whatever that number is. Some people might get to 7.5, some people might get to 5,000. So you've got your cap, and that means there's more emphasis on those days off where something needs to be put in place to make up for the downfall of the less activity. And this is where it's hard, because it's like, you're saying to yourself, 7,500 steps daily is healthy, but some people's job can contradict health in a way as well.
I was just about to say.
Aye, so it
That's
becomes
it.
a very, it's not our place to say, it's your decision to make, but
Nah.
career is in social
I remember
circles.
I had a client and she was like, I'm fucking shattered, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm like, do you think this job is healthy for you? And she looked at me and went, no. I was like, it's up to you, but look.
It's something to consider.
I said,
yeah,
look
yeah.
at what it's doing to you.
And
Like,
this is
you are fucked.
Christian's program that he does. Like, they have a career part in his programming,
Right.
where they're getting after it from a career point of view and getting more fulfillment and that sort of stuff. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it's my territory to say. I think, but if we instill good
With the
basic
client
principles,
that I was with, been with me for a long time, and I was like, look, well, let me be honest, your job is stopping you from so many things in your life. Stopping you from being happy. It's stopping you from smashing your gym. You've got other goals outside just the lifting weights. You've got other goals. You're not going to be able to get it if you stay in this job. And I said that's
just
it.
your observation.
That's it. Like, I can see it. Every time you're in, it's complaining. And I'm not saying it's bad to complain, but it's no good for you. This is terrible for you. You're working hours which are unbelievably long. You're not getting out it what you should be getting out it. And you know that. Like, this person knows that. And there's actually quite a couple of people I've got who are in the same boat. And that's why they struggle so much in their life sometimes, because their job do not give a fuck about them. These companies do not give a fuck about you because you're just a number.
Yeah.
And if that's where obviously some people's boundaries will they'll go, I'm not doing that overtime, and that'll leave them to be all right. But some people are like, well, you know what, I need to do this, I need to do that, and they're the same with health and fitness. They're like all in, all in, all in. They'll work all in, all in, all in.
Chronic junkie stress, isn't it? So
Aye.
they love it. They love it.
And it isn't our place, no. But I think when you train people for a long time, you can see it.
Yeah, and I think it's just observations, isn't it? And I think
it's
ultimately
more from you're not paying me for this advice,
no,
by the way.
I think,
but you're if we're on a friendship level by a certain point.
I think ultimately you just need to kind of ask yourself these deeper questions, which this is the thing with health and fitness. You start to do, like you said, why do people not have this energy to get after it? It's because they're in this vicious circle with this loop. And I honestly think this is what separates those who do and those who don't. Because let's say you stay in that job that you're not happy with, you maybe change your perspective and your mindset on, you know what, I need to get more out of this if this is going to be the job that I do.
Aye.
And that might be that it's a good salary and good holidays and allows you to see the world 3 weeks at a time or whatever it is. Cool.
Aye.
That's good as long as you can come to that peace of mind. But like you said, if it becomes so negative where it's all the I fucking hate this, I'm burned out, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, well, like in a way, why are you doing it then?
Yeah.
If you're
For
telling
money.
me, aye,
For money,
like
that's what they say.
it's like we give that. We need to make money, of course. We need to.
We do.
We need to have a lifestyle that can be enjoyed, but we do not. We do not live our lives just to go to work.
Yeah. Would you rather get paid $60,000 a year, right? Build mansions that were making way, way more than that. You were getting underpaid, but you're making these mansions for these rich people and you're getting to meet them all. Or would you rather get paid $100,000 to work a toll booth where you spoke to no one all day?
That's what I mean. It's networking and it's it's the connection part.
The connection part.
I was going to say something there that you mentioned earlier that I meant to bring up. Oh yeah, like when it comes to these millionaires and that sort of stuff, like the lifestyles that they have, it's not as if is elevating them up. I think the car, and when it comes to materialistic stuff, you see them wear blank t-shirts and there's no flashy stuff. I was reading or was I watching a YouTube video and the guy was going around like the average car that like some of these millionaires that aren't like they're not known, but the average car of a millionaire is like they drive about in, it's like 40,000. It's just like usually they're like collector's items. That it's like Disney, like that loses me money because in their mind it's like profit.
It's like the difference between rich and really rich,
or wealth.
Aye.
Wealth and rich are different.
Aye. Because people are going, I buy all this stuff, I'm fucking rich, and then you get wealthy people who understand it all.
Yeah, wealth is different.
So like, what do I need that car for?
I know. So you got to hit a glass ceiling with your movement. This is when you're looking at your days off and you're like, man, I need to hit 30,000 steps across both those days. That might be a push, but the main thing to take away is the weekends or the days off you have to probably build some sort of activity that's maybe a wee bit longer than the 7,500 steps.
Aye.
So start with seeing if you've got the ability to hit 7,500 steps on those days.
Also, just find a way to enjoy the steps.
Well, that's going to be the next point, yeah.
Find a way to enjoy them. People are like, oh, steps, boring. I fucking love going out and just being outside. I love it. And it's not because being outside is fucking amazing. It's the best thing ever. Oh my God, to get so
Look
much.
at this guy. Oh, this is class.
I get so much stimulation. I'll go out and I listen to something that I enjoy. It can be a podcast, it can be music, it can be whatever. Be like, people are like, oh, I'm just so boring. And I'm like,
text your friends.
Aye.
Get a family.
Have a phone call.
Aye. FaceTimes. That's what I mean. You can make it enjoyable. And this is what I'm saying. It doesn't need do an activity.
Aye.
Like go a bike ride. Go.
Imagine
like
people like that, go to a bike ride, shut the fuck off.
Cycling in Stratford Park. But there's so much you can do. Like go, I don't know. Like I know it's not the time of year and that sort of stuff, but because you're kind of limited. Like it's dark and
have
it's
sex a little bit more.
It could be more sex.
Have sex a little bit more.
It could be just connection. It could be anything. But I think the point is that you need some sort of outdoorsy type activity built into your life when it comes to the weekends. Hikes are obviously the best place to start, but time of the year can obviously challenge a lot more people. So the kind of go-to is an outdoor walk. I don't know what else I would probably put in that. Go see a landmark. Go see sightseeing. Like pick something like
people
the Christmas.
like
if you take like the Christmas lights and
you're
all that,
going out,
like,
you're walking about.
Like you don't realise go shopping. You don't realise that these things do housework. There's so many different things that you can do.
You're moving.
So, would you add anything else into the movement side of things or mindset?
For the mindset, all or nothing. You need to get. You're not going to win every day. You're actually going
to win every weekend. Lynn was saying this. Like, I'll go shopping every weekend.
Aye.
Well, you're not going to run out of money to spend.
But you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You're not going to hit your targets, and you're not going to see progress all the time, and that's cool. Do you know that way? But if you continuously keep it up, you look over a month, you look over 3 months, you look over 6 months, you go, oh aye, and look out for the progress that you do make, and go, I'm proud of myself. Yeah,
recognise that.
Be proud of yourself, even for the small things. Because if you're only looking for big wins, you're not going to accept the wee wins for what they are. And most of life is small wins. Most of life is hitting an extra 1,000 steps that day.
Yeah.
Most of life is, you know what, I actually ate my protein goal for the day. But people go, I should have done that. I should be doing that. I should be doing that. People have gone, you should be doing that anyway. You should be doing this. You should be doing that.
Fuck them.
No. That's a win. And then see, once you win that much so often at that becomes something you're just doing anyway, and then you build another one.
And here's a fascinating thing to think about when it comes to your mindset. You're right before you're starting, you didn't care about any of this. You know you should have been doing something, but you didn't care. See the fact that your mindset then shifts, going, I should have done that.
Aye.
That's something to be proud of. Aye. Because that means you care.
Aye.
And I don't care that you've missed it. If you're working with me and I'm your coach, I don't care that you've missed the day. I don't care that you fucked the meal plan. I'm proud that you're actually recognising that you are thinking a wee bit differently.
Aye.
Is it the right frame of mind to have? Probably not. I could argue against it. Like, look, you've done your best.
Yeah.
Move on. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, arguably 1 year, isn't it going to mess it up? As long as you jump back on that horse and fucking try it, get after it. Like, try keep working away and chipping at it.
Aye.
So with that, I think we'll wrap things up. We'll wrap part 1 of the 2-part series. So let's kind of end this on what we'll run through next. So we've got the sleep. Where does sleep play its part? You've got the workout side of things,
yep.
and as you know, we have a free workout plan. So if you want to download that and kind of get after that just now, that's going to be in the link below. If you want a 12-week structure for the 3 months, then of course it is November, and you have just at the point of this, you've got a couple of days left.
Starting strong, 30 discount code. Get it used. Go now.
Go. So we got the workout structure, which we'll run through, and of course we'll give you our favourite tips when it comes to that kind of thing. And then what was it? Our habits. The kind of like what habits to instill, and what's the kind of right habits for you.
A couple of key habits and how to implement them into your life.
Yeah, so that'll be part 2 of how to get started on your fitness series.
Yeah. Mind, we probably have spent 45 minutes going through them all before.
Yeah, so we've probably done previous episodes on.
No, but I'm just saying, like, we explain things in so much bigger pictures now.
Yeah.
It's
we
not
need to-
just do this and you'll be alright, do this and you'll be
Aye,
alright.
this-
It's like there's a lot of nuances between them all.
There is, and this is the beauty of podcasting as well, because it's you can get right into the crux of it. No, a 30-second TikTok like, hey, look at my arse. Do you know what a calorie deficit is? Just eat less and move more.
Oh fucking hell, man. I actually look at them and I used to go, how are they doing so well? And then I go, they're the reason why I'm going to do so well.
Aye, exactly. It's
Aye.
like they're actually not doing it.
Nah,
not
they're
doing it.
actually ruining people.
So our front.
people's
Fame.
fitness.
Fame doesn't mean fortune.
No.
Whatever that's different. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. We know you did, and because you did, you should be leaving this 5 stars.
Thanks.
Thank you to everyone who has. We are over 100 now, so it's the road to 200. Never satisfied, never staying still, always getting after it.
No bother, mate.
Some motivational hype.
Aye, no bother.
So you can find us on Instagram. You can find me at Coach Crosser.
You can find me at James McGinty, PT.
You can also find the joint Bulletproof Mindset podcast page, which is Bulletproof Mindset __. And with that being said,
Have a nice one. I need piss.
same.